Thank you very much, Wave Punk. I am Stumpy, joined by Cole at the Rocket League World Championships, and we are seeing what I would describe as quite a clear crowd favourite here. SSG, with Rettelstad being the cheerleader that he always takes on the role as, versus the club, a team that was drafted by SSG that they fancied facing. Cole, it's going to be a big one to kick off South America's journey.
Yeah, it is. Speaking of Rettelstad, not to brag, but I did get a selfie with him earlier.
That is the third time you've told me that today.
I'm actually talking to the audience when I say that, Stumpy. That's how this works, this thing that we do. But speaking of selfies, when Astromic went to the full major, okay, with Era Eternity, his one dream was to get a selfie, a picture with Garrett G. Now he's here to compete. He doesn't just want to come here and be part of the crowd, part of the furniture. South America are now a well-respected team, and to see Astromic back after the travails that the club have had. I mean, they were so close to at least forcing a chance to make an appearance at the Spring Major, losing 4-3, 4-3 to Furia. If they'd have won that one, would have been a tiebreaker. So they've come so close. Now they've found their way here, and from that interview, Stumpy, they seem confident.
Yeah, for sure. And you love seeing these teams come in confident. Their first Worlds event. It's going to be the case for a lot of the teams that we're seeing through as well. But going up against Spacestation, where they just thought, you know, we can take the club. South America has done incredibly well internationally recently, namely by the way of Furia, and a great start from the club trying to push as hard as they can on the Spacestation defense.
I absolutely love that reader right there from Lost, and look at him slow the ball down as well. I adore a player that can do that even in those tight moments, and Lost is the player that's really been stepping up for the club regionally. He has been their best performer in Spring since this team came together, a huge part of why they're so good and so dangerous.
A change of pace is needed for the club a couple of times where they haven't quite been able to close out. A couple of seconds, a couple of fourths going through, only forming right before Spring as well. So the fact that they can come to Worlds on the back of those points that they've earned through this season is fantastic for them. Very, very good motivator for the region as well. Seeing Fury do so well on the international stage, they're bringing back that confidence and a lot of the ability to teach the club and Secret, for example, what they can do on the international stage. At the right-hand wing, though, it's Astromic, the man wave dashing, catching out versus Daniel. Spacestation Gaming, at every single LAN we've been to, have had such a fantastic reception. It's been great to see. But on the counter-attack, Astromic tries to bump Daniel. It actually flies out perfectly to Rettles. He can shoot high, goes for the double tap. Oh, just from the crossbar, the touch cannot come in. Daniel has to retreat.
That shows how important Daniel is to Spacestation Gaming, though. 1 second he was 2 versus 1, looked like to be in real trouble. Suddenly Spacestation Gaming, a huge counter-attack, and they are, of course, a team that are happy to play that game. They don't mind having pressure against them because they know that one demo, one decent clearance can break them through when this man is on the ball. So dangerous. But Spacestation Gaming, they've had their own troubles. You know, they have had to get reverse sweeps on the opening day of the last 2 majors in winter and in spring, so it's harder to do that in a best of 7. So hopefully for them, they won't go 3 games down. But of course, in those best of 7s, they've had some real moments. They've had heartbreak. KV1 puts that one just wide. We'll talk about Spacestation Gaming's heartbreak in a bit.
Double commit coming in as well, and that being completely open. Astromic had boost to wrap himself around that ball, but didn't take the time that he needed to do so. So Spacestation Gaming managing to sneak away without any error from that double commit. Astromic on the left-hand wall goes hide, Lost getting some demos against a team that cleared them by demos per game by at least 1 throughout the season. Goes high again, KV1, somebody that people will know from South America as well. Has not competed at Worlds. The mustard coming in from Daniel, saved away by Lost. Very underrated player, I found as well, coming in from South America. Talking to Corelli, talking to Jorby historically, they love the club.
Yeah, exactly. They're such a popular team. For the ones that really know about them. Look at them come forward again. Not afraid to attack at all. A huge flick from KV1 gets the club the opening goal in this series.
Striking through the sweethearts of Fort Worth. KV1 takes it onto his own hood. Can flick it over the top of Arsenal. And maybe that one goal is going to be the one that secures the club at game number 1.
And we talked about that Spacestation Gaming heartbreak. We had the respawn save from Team Queso in winter.
Yeah.
Then we had that kickoff moment that I'm sure they're sick to death of us talking about down in London in spring. So they'll have to build upon that experience. And Arsenal, he's got the experience to put that one away.
Arsenal, the player that has had a couple of glow-ups, a couple of glow-downs, but with all of that control, KV1 being faked out as Arsenal waits beneath it and can then dribble it home at the final moment. Arsenal has said a few times as well in interviews, he doesn't really know whether to get hyped up and get pumped and get loud, or whether actually, you know, it's better for him and the team to be a little bit more demure. but dropping it down from Lost. A brilliant double tap. The club, the lead again.
This is why he's so highly rated. He wasn't the most hyped player in this team. It was KV1, the 1v1 master, but Lost is just so good.
That's lovely.
In these tight situations in 3v3 where he has to take that perfect first touch. And suddenly we've got a few goals in this one. It really has exploded to life towards the end of game number 1.
Yeah, 90 seconds left. They're going to be wanting to have a Space Station goal, or maybe not. Maybe the club are going to be getting the 3, and then the reverse sweep trend is going to continue. But like you say, best of 7, a huge amount of games that you have to win to be going through. Rettles manages to use that pace, and the goalie on the line stays grounded irresponsibly.
Yeah, Space Station, their decision-making, though, when they're in these attacking moments, is the chance come in. Absolutely love to hear that beautiful sound here in Dickies Arena. The Space Station Gaming equalise yet again. I mean, this is a team that they genuinely have had experiences in tough moments. And at a man like this, the club's only player who's been to a major before is Astromic, right?
Yeah.
And that experience can be absolutely huge as this series goes on. We're already seeing it now in game 1.
A minute remaining, drawn 2 apiece. And with KV1 missing that ball, it falls to Lost, but the midfield challenge from Rettles pinches it towards the corner. Arsenal again. A man with question marks floating around him that he'll happily replace with exclamation marks at some point.
Lost is going to take a couple of touches again. He's done this quite a few times for the club in this opening game. I think Lost is still staying around, so the club always wanted to play on the front foot and really make Space Station panic. That's a great pass out, though. These passes are so important for Space Station. Arsenal gets a double touch. Astromic, though, with a fantastic save. Daniel gets the ball on the boost.
Bit of a pre-jump, has to make the goal as small as he can, and does so fantastically. Astromic getting in the way again of that ball, but Arsenal is not going to be caught out twice. The opportunity presented itself to him. It was a good chance for that block by Astromic, but Arsenal, look at that positioning, up incredibly quickly. 23 seconds left, Space Station with the lead.
Love that from Arsenal as well, going for the dunk instead of the win. Really good play from him to give them a chance to take this first game. First time they would have taken a first game in an opening series at a major in, not ever, at least this season. Daniel's there, destroy that one's over the top though, wow! This game just keeps going one side to the next.
Wrestling that ball home, as on the right-hand wing, Lost. To that backboard, Daniel actually missed jumping, and then it just bobbling over the top of the defense. Lost presenting himself as a nuisance, and Arsenal in his chair, just shaking it off.
They've got some pinball machines in the player area backstage, and I imagine the club have been practicing, because that was pretty pinball-y right there. As Lost goes over the top, that one's clean. Daniel has to be on hand in defense. 5 seconds left. Astromic is there. There'll be some drama late on in game number 1. Daniel booms it forward. The club would take overtime right now, and they do, and we do head to overtime between these two.
The momentum seemingly going towards the club a couple of times. Astromic very far up in that orange half. Immediately from the kickoff, lost the chance to go low with it, did fancy it. A lot of mechanics on display across the both of these teams. And I'm intrigued just to see how Arsenal ends up doing. He's my biggest player that I want him to perform, I want him to do well. And so far he has been doing so. This is a proving ground for everybody on this pitch.
Yeah, I'd say that Arsenal has been Space Station Gaming's best player so far, and here he is again, really able to pull the club out of position every time he gets some control of the ball. But Lost is the same, doesn't have the boost on that occasion, unfortunately. Bit of a double commit, but it might work out for them. Arsenal is there up against Lost, and Arsenal wins out on that occasion, but only for now. Daniel, though, should be able to slow this one down in defense. Good defending from Space Station in the end, but more pressure from the club.
It was a good chance for Lost as well to go for a bump, but instead, not having that ambition, not having that idea to go for it, goes for the block instead. A lot of the physical play can benefit a team, and Space Station are a team that know that incredibly well, so are going to be delivering and dodging demos.
The first game that you would expect is much more important for the club than Space Station. They are the underdogs here. Their region, despite Furia excelling so much in recent times,
and Secret taking down BDS.
And Secret taking down BDS as well, are still considered below North America, you know, so if the club can take this opening game, it will just potentially open the door for the rest of this series. Especially the way they've won it. Both teams taking the lead, both teams losing it straight away. Good play all around. Rettles there with the air dribble. Oh! And how's that one gone in?
Oh, that is nasty. Rettles shouting towards the crowd and towards the club. Let's go. Onto that top corner. Oh. What a wonderful touchdown. Astromic has been there for the block time and time again, but unable to read it on that final chance. Great overtime win there for Space Station Gaming, and Rettles at the death, coming alive.
They look like they're enjoying themselves as well, as you mentioned. Rettles playing up to the crowd that is hugely in favor of Space Station.
The mentality on Space Station is something that I posted about on Twitter a couple of times. I mean, that if you watch their comms videos, it always comes down to Rettles. He is a phenomenal in-game leader. He is the best team captain as far as I am concerned, despite not winning a major, which is an amazing place to be. They are wonderful with the way that they speak to each other. Retals takes control of every situation, and it helps inspire, especially with a young player like Daniel, where it could go wrong, or Arsenal, where he thinks, do I get loud? Do I stay a little bit quieter? And figuring that out as a team is something that is absolutely vital.
Underrated mechanically as well is Retals, in my opinion. He's a player that is capable of surprising his opponents. I think that air dribble, they didn't expect him for a million years to be able to force that one around.
Yeah.
Spacestation Gaming, yeah, an important game number one, because that was not easy, and I think that's good for Spacestation, to be challenged by the club and still be able to win it out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the fact that the club brought it into that overtime, the fact that they are being threatening in every situation, and they got, I believe, the opening goal as well, is a great position to be in. However, it's a best of 7. Theoretically, the best team should win, but we just don't know in these situations.
But we saw from Bravado Gaming earlier on against Renegades, Bravado got better and better as the series went on. They had the advantage, the ability to take what they'd learned from those opening games, finally getting their first goal in Game 4. So if the club can improve, Spacestation Gaming, mark my words, are going to have to step up too.
Great pass along from Retals here on Aquadome. Spacestation, great start into this game, literally in 15 seconds, but their heat map glowing on the opposite side of the pitch. I want to see if it's going to be as close in this game as we saw previously, because it comes down to the club pressuring as much as they can. They can't change their game style, and a couple of the demos coming out, Retals getting 2, both on Astromic and then KV1. Doesn't actually go that far down the pitch, but if that starts to open up, then Retals is going to continue to be that demolition derby destructoid that he likes to be.
You wonder if it'll be similar to the first game. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind 7 more goals and an overtime. That'd be lovely, as Daniel is a tiny little fake in front of his own goal, showing the boy's confidence. He just loves being on the stage in front of his fans. The challenge there between Arsenal and KV1. Astromic is coming in, good speed from him, but Retals, again, in the perfect position. Positionally, been fantastic for Spacestation Gaming so far. And this is what Daniel can do. He can just change the angle, change the speed of approach to let Retals in. It was a nice attack from Spacestation Gaming that, on that occasion, didn't quite happen for him in the end, but they're looking really good in Game 2.
Opportunity to go down the pitch from the club. Astromic going for that light pass and then the bump on the backboard, something that we're seeing come into the meta a little bit more frequently with Daniel. Chance for a shot, but it does pinch into the opposite corner. Astromic to send it long. Arsenal to collect. Does so, pinches it central. Chance for Lost to fake out. He does, but Retals had that little bit more distance and can make his car nice and wide, can block it away, but Lost into the sky.
Spacestation Gaming are definitely defending more on the front foot this game. I think in the first one they were happy to counter-attack and give away some pressure. Now they're charging forward as quick as they can, but if the club can slow them down like that, putting some fakes in the air. I love an aerial fake. It really just excites me.
I love an aerial fake. They're so fun to watch because we're watching, you know, one camera and then we see the player start to boost away from it and you're like, oh, here we go. Here we go. This could be cheeky.
Yeah.
Hopefully we do get to see a little bit more of that. Spacestation chucking in a few of their own as well. Good chance for it to be dropped down. Did Retals get the flip? I don't think he did.
Sure.
That'd have been fun, but Arsenal trying to go into the corner. Bounces high. KV1 again with an error. KV1 a couple of times has stayed grounded or hasn't quite gone up as quick as he should do, and it's led to scary moments.
Massive save though from Lost. That was such a good read. Horrible angle to make a save from, but able to do it to keep the club in this game for now. Just slows it down to the side. Lost is already up. He wants to get involved, but he waits. Again, great play from Lost, and in the end does get his block. Astromic though was surprised by it. That one almost sneaks in. Just about got away from the club, but Spacestation Gaming still continuing to put this pressure on, and that demo will help.
Yeah, and it absolutely pays off as Daniel can slow play it, and Retals diving through the opposition, gets one demo to begin with on KV1. Lost gets faked out a little bit, and then Retals getting the bumps on the way. 1-0 Spacestation, 3 minutes gone.
That was the most Spacestation Gaming-iest goal I think I've ever seen. There was a bump and a demo as Daniel twirled in the air, and eventually the goal was made pretty simply for him by the work rate of his teammates. Just a brilliant squad, a brilliant roster of Spacestation Gaming, and they're stepping up at the right time. You know, they are really finding some form right now. It's Arsenal there with the, I think it was a musty flick, maybe more of a backflip right there.
And it's a great time to find that form too. Spacestation coming into this tournament, a couple of errors. We don't want to be seeing that from you, the club. We want to be seeing the best form that you can possibly be on, but look at the pressure continuing for Spacestation. The pressure for them, though, building off the pitch as well. People saying that they're not the favourite to win this competition, but to get those top 4 spots, yeah, for sure. I've got them in my top 8, absolutely.
Oh, wow. Good effort there from Daniel, just a snapshot. They're going to have to come against Spacestation. Will they be able to double their lead and give themselves a bit of daylight? The first time in this series, the team would have been a couple of goals ahead. It could be Retals right now, again forcing the angle. Daniel's coming in, but not quite able to score. He's keeping it on Spacestation gaining pressure. Astronomic is up now. It's a flip reset, but it's just not quite working for the club this time. Retals has a shot, which finds its way in off the post.
A cheeky ricochet on the right-hand side. It's Astronomic, just a weak touch. Arsenal was there to just poach the ball away. And KV1 staying grounded, that time not his fault whatsoever. That shot sometimes might go out towards the middle, sometimes might go in. You have to just try and bank on what you believe is going to happen. But Retals, brilliant shot from him, securing a 2-goal lead for SSG.
The club's starting to look a little bit rushed, you know, places where they will be taking a touch in game number 1, instead of just booming it back towards the Spacestation Gaming goal. And Spacestation Gaming have done such an effective job of boost starving, of getting in the way when they do have their chances, just being a really effective unit against the club. I think in game 3 we're going to have to see a slight change in approach from the club, because Spacestation are looking well on top of them here.
Chance to work out from their backside, though. Astronomic flipping central. We wanted to get a touch on that. The fake coming in and lost. Manages to punt the ball into the back of the orange side net. Arsenal faking out that touch, and it just leaves the entire Spacestation defense a little bit bedraggled.
There was also a lovely fake there from KV1. It was to allow the ball to roll to lost. And just when I'm saying they need a change of approach, the club get themselves a goal, and suddenly what was looking so comfortable for Spacestation could be really nervy. But can the club get themselves on the ball and put some pressure back on SSG?
15 seconds remaining. Spacestation holding on to that 1-goal lead that they earned earlier on in the game. The pass central from Lost, a really good pass from him, in fact. But just nobody from the club wanting to take on the responsibility of going for the shot. Retals has to burn this time away. It goes long, goes back down towards Retals. Arsenal's going to dribble that back into his own half, to the ground, and Spacestation Gaming taking that 2-game lead. The crowd also enjoying the fact that that is happening. They were cheering a lot for Spacestation. In North America, you normally get a lot of the North American teams having very, very noisy crowds, and as people slowly find their way in, I think they're figuring out what the vibe is here.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of days of Rocket League coming up. I hope that people watching this are excited right now. This is only the beginning of these World Championships. Absolutely massive. $600,000 for the winning team. That's just an astronomical amount of money. It's gigantic, okay? And this is only the beginning of it. And Spacestation Gaming are finding that you have to start well, especially in the Swiss, especially in best of 7 Swiss, because we've heard from coaches and from players that people like you and me, Stumpy, who've not been pro, we don't necessarily appreciate how
Speak for yourself, mate. I've won a couple
be.
of competitions.
Okay, you have won some
Thank
rivals. Well done you, mate. Yeah, but like, Swiss is a different beast, right?
Yeah.
If you start well, you get through in 3 games, or 3 series, should I say, suddenly you look back and you think that was easy. But when you go to that Series 5, exhaustion comes into it.
Yeah.
So the way Spacestation Gaming have started is perfect, exactly what they need.
And they'll be looking at the Swiss thinking, we deserve to top that. We deserve to be going 3-0, along with, you know, your version 1s. You see your Dignitases as well, thinking, oh, look, we want to be going 3-0 here, and this is going to be the start of it. The club surely having those same thoughts, but
they said
a bit of, yeah, they did. Yeah, they're confident. They want to be going. Retals saying, though, that Spacestation are the most prepared and confident team in this entire competition, not just in the Swiss. No, he's not just going to lower himself to talking just about the Swiss. He's saying out of any team here, including Moist, they are the most prepared. It's something that I love to hear. The preparation going into the biggest competition. Yeah, yes, please.
Well, so far, the in-series game tweaks have been really effective as Daniel gets a beautiful double reset. More of that, please. That's exactly what we want to see, and that's how you break through a team like the club. Retals puts pressure back on. KV1 is just about squeezing in. Retals went for the dunk. It wasn't quite to be, but just on Aquadome, it's Spacestation Gaming starting these games so well, putting the club so firmly on the back foot, it's like they're going to fall over.
Spacestation know one word, and that word is aggression. They're just going to dive at the ball in every opportunity, beating out players as well. Daniel for the double isn't able to get it, but the speed from him, a couple of car lengths between him and the challenging player from the club. Sent long, though, and Daniel has to defend. He can do that just as well. Backboard is nearly found as KV1's going to defend it heroically.
It's really important for a little while that the club keep up their communication in this high-pressure situation. When you're looking to your teammates to your left and right for the first time, you have to keep talking to them because they will be well aware they're going to come up for a period of defending right now. But Rocket League can change in a heartbeat, you know. One goal completely changed that for them, and suddenly they're in the attack. I just don't want to see them rushing things and overcommit.
Good chance for the double from Astromik, but instead falling to Arsenal to save. It was a great save as well, but Lost is able to get another one. A few goals on the trot for Lost as well. Astromik can't get that touch, but again, the aerial fakes coming in, and Arsenal with the in and out save gets it wonderfully, but Lost is there to capitalise.
I'm happy that Lost was there because that just meant that we could see that beautiful Arsenal save from in and out the goal. I always love an in and out save. I'm a sucker for them. But that's what the club needed. You know, they've got themselves in the lead. Can they consolidate? Can they keep hold of it? In game number 1, they got 3 goals, but it was either equalised or each time they scored, they conceded straight away again. Spacestation Gaming have done okay from this kickoff, but that touch from Daniel will lose possession from them. Everyone leaves it for Arsenal. And we've also seen some fakes coming out from the club. They've been pretty effective at, you know, going for the ball and genuinely purposely missing it. Spacestation Gaming have been pretty delicate against that a few times.
Lovely touches in the midfield. Can't quite sneak it away from the Space Station defense this time. Daniel to the backboard, but the angle absolutely impossible to score from. Instead, fancy the pass. Dan again rotating the midfield very, very effectively, wanting to be aggressive. Does not want to have incredible South American players bearing down on him. If he can cut it out early, that is going to be his MO.
We're seeing a lot more from Lost at the moment as well. He's starting to get some more touches as that shot comes in from Daniel, and it was Lost from the goal line. He just had to get that one away. Oh, but he turned away, or did he get bumped from that? Astromik could put that one into his path, but Lost wasn't quite there. Astromik can do some cleanup though. Keep the attack going, at least for now, until Arsenal comes in. Gets rid of that ball, but in general play, the club has so much more in this one. It's become even when Space Station Gaming were all over them, and important saves like that getting the club back in it.
And it's not just that, you know, you've got individual players showing off fantastically. Lost so far on 100% goal participation in the first 3 games. He's had 3 goals, 2 assists. He's been vital to the success of the club. And so far, unable to win a game, but it has been very close. Space Station, they're going to want that trend to continue.
Daniel's over the top. Astromik should be able to get the read. Can't quite do it. That one's hitting the post. KV1. He almost lets it just roll over his head. Rushes it, and SSG carry on.
Arsenal, though, he turned away quite rightly, thinking that KV1's going to get the touch. We've seen a few defensive errors from KV1, staying grounded, missing the ball. Just maybe the nerves kicking in, because this is a huge event for them and yet to come to any major so far.
KV1, a player that just wants the ball. He wants it under his control, but it happens so much less in 3v3. So he needs to take those moments when they come and just be aware. He'll be called into action at any point. There's more pressure right now from SSG. Arsenal, a touch towards Daniel. Daniel shoots. KV1 makes up for any earlier scary moments earlier with that save.
He does go alongside Astromik, however. The double commit is scary. Does not lead to a goal. They've been able to recover. The boost is fine again. Astromik delivering a demo towards Rettles. And the pre-jump from Lost getting out the way. Arsenal on the backboard, touching down wonderfully. KV1 clearing it again. Lost. He is speeding up. That engine is revving. Yeah,
Lost is basically playing from left to right, just sweeping anything that comes about 10 feet in front of the club goal. Space Station Gaming suddenly have to rush things. Rettles being tracked by Astromik, but he gets away. Can't quite get it on target, though. Daniel's flying in into the corner. Lost was there again. That man has had so many touches of the ball. Almost impossible to go against. Rettles goes underneath KV1, and Astromik is there. They're supporting each other so well. Again, Lost with the save.
Daniel going for these shots time and time again, unable to get a goal just yet, but Rettles again having another one come off. Very low on boost as Space Station needs to retreat. KV1 the chance to go for a dribble. Lost, able to shoot, does end up finding it onto that back wall. Final 10 seconds will be counted down within our wildcard arena. Into the back corner, Lost clearing it away, and the club seconds from securing their first game on land. KV1 to send long, Daniel to the backboard. KV1, who else to drop it to the floor? The club win a game versus SSG. We
had a sweep earlier, but it's not going to happen in this one. If SSG are to win this first series, they're going to have to do it the long way round because the club are here to play. KV1, yeah, he did have a bit of a struggle at the start, but I think he stepped up so much in the last maybe 25% of that game, and hopefully he'll take that going forward. But I mean, talk to me about Lost, because he was everywhere.
I mean, yeah, he has been all over the pitch. He's wanted to, as you said, in the game, he's been sweeping left to right. He ended up pre-jumping towards the end. He looks like, you know, ultimately, this is your first game on LAN. You're just trying to figure out how do I play away from home in these situations? How do I get into the rhythm? And I really think he's finding it. Getting that goal participation, 3 goals, getting 2 assists out of it as well. 5 opportunities have presented themselves and he has secured them. Great saves on the back line too to secure club the lead.
I mean, Spacestation Gaming did have 9 shots compared to the club's 5, so I'd say overall, on the balance of it, they were the more dominant force in that game. But when the club got their goal, it just seemed to galvanize them, and suddenly they were playing a pretty even game in the center, and it worked for them.
The club in that game, I found, were shutting things down a lot more in the midfield before they became shots, before we saw them, and yet there were still 9.
Mainly because of loss.
Yeah, because of loss. Like, there were so many opportunities where you see like the defense, and you're like, wow, they've been defending so fantastically, but it's all been done in the midfield. There was a lot of that, and there were a lot of shots coming in from Space Station, so they are under immense pressure right now. Game number 3 on Utopia, the club fighting to get 2 apiece. And a Space Station wanting to move on to series points.
The club with the momentum, Space Station with the crowd behind them. It's a really intriguing point in this series. It's just the opening of the Swiss as well. So much
I love
calm.
Swiss.
Yeah, I love the Swiss as well. It's, to me, the best way to just break teams in half.
Yeah.
If you're going to survive the Swiss, no one can claim that you didn't deserve to.
Yes, exactly. 30 seconds gone, and yet again, that heat map is lighting up for Space Station Gaming. Brettles to catch it low. But that big challenge coming in, sees a stomach clearing it long as well, picks up the 100 boost as it spawns in the midfield, so can continue. Arsenal has looked wonderful in this series so far as well.
KV1 up against Arsenal. Arsenal bumps them out of the way to allow Rettles in, something Space Station do so effectively, sweeping the path for their teammates, and that's really good pace for Rettles. Arsenal with the touch. Will he go from the sky? Loves a musty flick, this guy. Will he go for it this time? No, just an early flip. Oh, can't quite get the angle. He went for the impossible shot. Not quite to be.
So many pre-jumps from Space Station Gaming, and it's not just one player doing it. I've seen all 3 of them go up early, wanting to beat out the club as often as they can. That's where their speed is coming from, because they have been beating out the club very, very frequently, because they're leaving the ground just that 0.1 of a second earlier.
Well, I mean, you said they were prepared. Maybe by that they mean they're jumping 1 day earlier than anybody else. There's a great flick there from KV1 towards the Stromic. Quick turn of events there from the club. Good turn around to get themselves back on attack, but they do fall back. Not too upset about having a couple of men back, despite their blistering start to this series. They've definitely opted for a more defensive gameplay style of the club. As Space Station Gaming have warmed up, maybe trying to make the most of their boost. You know, there's not that much on the pitch. It's pretty sparse. They have to get this man Lost on the ball. If you go in against Rettles and win it, Lost almost bounces that one over KV1. Could have been dangerous. KV1 jumped at the right time.
The defense looking stronger for the club in this game. Not nearly as many errors as we've seen previously. Naughty pinch coming out as well, but low boost for Daniel. Has to return back to his half. The boost very in favor of the club right now until a couple get picked up by Space Station Gaming. A great bump on that backline. KV1 gets cleared away. That is going to be landing awfully. KV1 clearing it away very, very effectively. Daniel to the sky, but lost from the backboard. Great speed from him, actually outspeeding Dan.
The club's goal line is just about starting to live a bit of a charmed life. Like, Space Station Gaming didn't score in that last game, despite having 9 shots, and a lot of them good ones as well. And still they can't break through, but maybe it's an overcommit here from the club. Daniel's coming in, and Daniel will put it away. Space Station needed that.
Stromic fancied that corner boost more than he should have done. He overflipped, thought that the error wasn't going to be there, thought it might roll up nicely. Takes that gamble, but it does not pay off. Daniel instead reading it better. It flies flat, and he can send it in halfway through the game. The 1-goal lead for SSG.
That's what can happen if you start to just get a little bit overconfident, as the club were right there. You forget that your opponents are pretty darn good at this game too. Everyone leaves that one for a Stromic. Lost is in. What can he do with some boost, with a chance to go solo? Not enough, because Daniel's there. KV1 wants to flick this one into the corner. It was a good flick, but Arsenal knew exactly what was coming and got the block.
Individual opportunities arising for the club. Certainly fantastic on that 1v1 spectrum is KV1, but when we've seen the team plays come out as well, not too many passes have worked out for them so far as I can remember anyway. The Space Station Gaming, they're all about those team plays. Arsenal wanting to go for that light touch from the pass from a teammate. Daniel central, very selflessly. KV1 wants to carry on with that ball, but Rettles just dispossessing him in the air.
Oh, great play from Rettles to get the second touch as well. And it's over the top of Astromics. This will let Arsenal in. Daniel's following up.
Heavy
Space
touch.
Station Gaming moving forward information just for a second, but it was heavy. Arsenal tries to make something from it. Can he pinch this one in? Wow, what a turnaround that would have been. A pretty poor first touch, let's be honest.
Good demo from KV1 as well to clear out Rettles, otherwise that attack would have carried on. Astromic finding Lost. Does not quite get the touch he wanted to. Needed that soft angle in the middle. Lost as well receiving the pass from KV1. Team plays looking much better. The inside post bounce. Finding KV1. And it's ones across the board.
For KV1 as well. There it is. It works out pretty perfectly there for the club. Just when I was starting to think that their mechanics were starting to slow down, there were some awkward touches. There were some misses and whiffs. The Spacestation Gaming, they weren't falling for them. But one incisive pass. And suddenly the club give themselves momentum going into the last minute of this fourth game.
In that final minute, it's going to be seeing Spacestation Gaming wanting to finish out this game as they started with unbelievable, undeniable, unassailing pressure. Dan wants to get the flip reset, can't quite pull it off, but Arsenal to that side wall, a much nicer touch. Gets one touch down below, will be leaving. Daniel to the ceiling, but the ball does run away from him. Still manages to get that flip reset though, because of course he does onto the backboard. Rettles clear it away, great clear, but it does lose a lot of pace by touching the ceiling.
The club are just taking their time here, you know, they're not rushing anything, they're building up some boost reserves. Bit of a double commit there, but Astromic does manage to get out of the way to let KV1 in, and I don't mind that from the club. It's so tempting when you get an equalizer in a position like this to throw everything, try and win it before that overtime. They've not fallen for that trap, and it does just mean they can begin to move forward. If Daniel's touch here isn't perfect, he could be in trouble, but it was perfect, and he still has the ball.
So perfect, in fact, that it leads into an opportunity to score, but Astromic removing that threat from the pitch. Arsenal takes it high, but KV1 to intercept to the ceiling as well. As he lands, though, pumped to the backboard by Daniel. Lost, though, missing. Rettles to shoot. Crossbar down. Overtime.
I've got no idea how that happened at the end there. I thought Daniel made the wrong decision going for the backboard, but for some reason Lost missed it. Maybe he was concentrating elsewhere, but Spacestation Gaming have started the overtime better, so much better. They've started it perfectly. Daniel is amazing.
You leave the backboard undefended once, it's fine. You do it twice and Daniel is going to punish you. In 7 seconds, the chance reigned through the Wildcard Arena, and Spacestation on series point.
Daniel, the latest in a long line of 15-year-olds coming to these lands. People saying, is he going to be able to handle the pressure? Will he be just as good and amazing as he is online? And as we tend to see in Rocket League, they manage it. You know, so many of them actually play better when they get into the hot seat, when they have the crowd in front of them. And Daniel is up there with the very best in North America, perhaps the world, depending on form. And when he plays well, he's so exciting to watch, and he can change an awkward result for Spacestation Gaming into what, when you look back at it, you think, oh, that's a pretty comfortable win.
I love the confidence as well, going for the double tap immediately into that kickoff. You know, 7 seconds left. It starts off awkwardly. Daniel missing that and actually allowing that goal to come in. Very, very good goal, but dribbling around 2 of them and then onto that double tap by whipping around the side. It's the cheeky smile in the middle. You see Rettles smiling like, I am so lucky to be on a team with this kid. I am the best scout in the world by you know, managing to get him onside. And now, one more game for Spacestation will be sending them through into the 1-0 part of our Swiss, and they will be playing against a team that have got another 1-0 if they can do it. But the club are still standing in the way. They need 3 more games. Not impossible, especially with the chaos that can rain down on Wasteland.
And bro, they're from South America. They've got more mechanics than what we've seen so far, all right? They are capable.
You're like 30, don't call me bro.
They're capable of, I've been hanging out with Turtle too much, all right? They're capable of doing pretty much anything. And unfortunately, towards the end of that last game, they were starting to get a little bit stretched. I really want to see them try and go for some more solo plays. Be arrogant, you know, demand that ball. Who cares if your teammates want it? How good you are. Don't let Spacestation do the same.
I love those solo plays that we see from Arsenal come out every now and then, because they seem like the work of a mad inventor, where he flies in the air and he's like, you know what, let's just improv this bad boy and see what happens. Man after my own heart, I like it a lot. Daniel, a little bit more choreographed in how he decides to play.
Arsenal's playing like an old school skateboarding game, chaining combos together as he goes along to get max points.
Grinding on a cruise ship just to get those points. We all know that, we all know.
Well, here's Lost. He wants to get the flick reset here, coming from the angle. Seiko-esque almost, but he couldn't quite get it. Astromic attempts to pass into the center. That would have been a really risky play for KV1 to move up towards, and rightly decides it's not worth that risk just yet. They've got 3 games in front of them. Lost, can he put this one away? Oh! The finish is actually helped along by SSG.
Lost managing to get yet more onto the percentage of the goal participation. Astromic going onto the backboard. Lost shoots low on an open net. Could have been a better finish, but helped along by Arsenal, who taps it over. No one there realistically at fault. Sometimes that just happens.
Well played the club. Get themselves back in it. Lost going for the bump on Arsenal as well. The club finding some confidence for themselves. as I mentioned, just chuck yourselves at it. Play like you are the best team in the world. Believe it. Get up there nice and early as KV1 has right there. Spacestation Gaming, a few questions to answer yet again. Astromic's getting past them. Can he get a reset or some sort of decent challenge? Not quite. Arsenal, a huge clearance long. And I think for a little while, that's what Spacestation Gaming need to do, just to take the sting out of the club.
Yeah. With a minute and a half gone, however, it's the club going into the lead again. He manages to, sorry, the club rather, they managed to do such a good job of, in the later part of the series, they have been the dominant team. It then just turns around towards the end where Spacestation then go up into it. The engine warms up a touch more.
And it's interesting as well that the club haven't taken their tactical timeout. This is best of 7. They are able to take that minute-long break to talk things through, but maybe the club are a team that just like to get on with it, keep up any momentum that they have, rather than just taking that step back and thinking.
Daniel parking sideways manages to stop that ball from going dangerously into the side of Spacestation Gaming. That positioning has been fantastic from him so far, and the link up from Arsenal and Rettles does not lead to a goal, but very, very close. Arsenal managing to actually miss that ball after the fake from a player of the club. Backline sees Arsenal going for one flip reset into the second. A shot from Astromic trying to punish that hubris.
Rettles is going to be beaten to the ball actually by Lost, who is doing his thing again where he just gets involved all over the pitch, but that's a huge challenge win from Rettles. Daniel's going to be teed up. He goes to the backboard. Astromic with a good backboard read this time. Daniel got some joy in Utopia in the last game in that exact position. So the club are learning what Spacestation Gaming are trying to do. And they have the lead. It hasn't happened too many times in this series. But just as they say that, the ball bounces to Rettles, and he has the reflexes to send it away.
Stressing the defense time and time again. It's just Daniel wanting to get those tiny touches, get some bumps, just trying to make it as awkward as possible. And Rettles waiting to take that final shot is in the perfect position. That one goal bringing them level with the club. Half of this game gone. Astromic, though, dribbling around the side, saved away by young man Dan.
Again, though, it's another one of those even games between these two. There have been periods where Spacestation Gaming have had all the onus on them, all the emphasis on the attack, but I've been doing okay. But when Daniel gets control of the ball, looks so much more dangerous, but that's a huge challenge from Lost, and he's chasing it up,
Lovely.
And Arsenal's demoed, and the club get their lead back.
The perfect counter-attack. You see Astromic having a giggle as well. Lost just has to pre-jump it. KV1 removing Arsenal from the pitch, and still, that is a brilliant read, because that is almost an in-between bounce from that ball. It didn't quite roll up, it didn't quite bounce flat, it went in the middle, and yet Lost read it.
I got a bit excited for a second. I thought that Astromic was pointing at SSG, but he was just talking to his coach and having his arm out. I was like, oh, this is heating up.
Imagine.
But not quite yet. I'm sure as time goes on, we will see some of that, some trash talking.
Version 1.
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
Com.
Him,
Com.
He,
unbelievable.
Yeah, no, him, that guy.
Yeah, really loud.
What I was hitting at.
Loved
anyway,
it.
2 on the club.
1.5 minutes remaining as the club wanting to stop Spacestation Gaming in their tracks. This one game cannot go Spacestation's way if the club are wanting to be winning out the series in our wonderful Swiss. Arsenal dropping it down to Dan. Going to get that bump in the corner. Rettles touching it a couple of times. The block, though, from Lost. He is offensively incredible and defensively devilish.
Right, if I can't call you bro, you can't call Daniel Dan, all right? He is Daniel to you.
Hey, I've chatted to him twice.
All right, here's Astromic trying to beat Arsenal. Rettles is there, or Rhett, as I can call him. He clears it away well. Arsenal flicks that one high towards KV1. Good play from the club. You know, they're just slowing things down. They're getting boost as well. Look at their boost management in the top left. Spacestation Gaming are really struggling to steal it from them, and that's giving the club so much more belief when they're on the ball.
Opportunities, though, as they do manage to pick up quite a bit of boost. Rettles caught awkwardly, and Arsenal called onto that ball. The bump coming in from Lost. The physical play, normally the way of Spacestation, but removing Rettles from the pitch. That's the man who wants to instigate a lot of the violence. Daniel touching it down, a back pass towards Rettles, and it allows Spacestation to go for yet another attack. The club, though, 2-1 up, the final 30 seconds, and potential for our game number 6.
Daniel goes high, but instead, unfortunately for him, he couldn't quite get the air dribble that he wanted. He'll have to go again. Into the centre with him this time. It's solo, gets a couple more touches. Astromic up so quick. Astromic, who this entire series has quietly been going about his work, just getting in the way of Spacestation where needed, and the club find themselves 7 seconds away from getting their second game of the series. Daniel's in the way. KV1 taking so much time. You asked earlier if he believed, you know, if he was confident enough to be here. Based on that, at the end of a game, having the composure to slow it down when he's about to win, the answer is yes.
I love that time management, the game management that we see. Being, you know, an England football fan, we saw the Lionesses do it in the Euros to take the win. It was fantastic, but just getting those seconds off the clock, getting those minutes gone in football, those seconds in Rocket League. Soccer, very true. Soccer ball. The fact that they, KV1 had the idea to do that. He only got 122 points in that game, but it does not matter. So much happens off the ball, and that is an example of it. The final 10 seconds, that is what won it for the club, just those opportunities not coming back round for Spacestation. And game number 6 as well, where Spacestation, they just need 1.
Yeah, well, that's easier said than done against the club. They're proving tricky customers to shake off for Spacestation Gaming right now, who had their moments. Daniel was causing all sorts of trouble whenever he got control of the ball, but that winner that we saw, that Lost put away, I loved the demo on Arsenal, who was heading back. That was actually one of my favorite moments in that game, because that just showed belief playing in front of the ball for the club.
Look at them laugh, smile, and having, quite frankly, immaculate vibes over on the blue side of the stage. Their coach is walking around, just talking to the guys, making sure that they're happy, make sure that they're comfortable. This is an alien setup for 2 out of 3 of them. They need to make sure that they can just hone in on that, on the screen in front of them. They can enter Neo Tokyo with Bob's Ramen overlooking them. And are they going to be able to face off against the crowd, who are also very much cheering for Space Station Gaming?
The crowd who are right in front of these players as well. They are staring, you can see the crowd from in front of the monitor in front of you, so it's really difficult to play with that. Astronomy's going to take a touch and boom it long. Can the club get into this game and really make this a challenging series for them? Lost is going to take control here, at least for a second. Daniel is there. He's beaten by KV1. Astromic's coming in. Rettles is heading back towards the goal. Really awkward position for Space Station, but KV1, he couldn't quite get enough height in the amount of time that he had. Space Station Gaming send it forward. It's been a better start for the club. I mean, throughout this series, we have seen that the club have been struggling at the beginning. Space Station Gaming putting them under so much pressure. There is none of that here on Neo Tokyo. Maybe Bob's Ramen is the charm. That's what they needed to really have that, that emphasis going into the start of a game. Lost takes a decent touch, but Daniel's next. Arsenal, a huge demo on Astromic. Daniel's coming in, he beats KV1, does him for pace, gets Space Station Gaming the lead, and that will just relieve so much pressure. That balloon that was about to pop, it's just opened up a little bit, and it's via a bump, it's via a demo, and it's via some class from Daniel. It gives Space Station that 1-0 lead, but there's a lot of Rocket League left to go in this game. It's still not easy for them. The club will, I'm sure, make it as difficult for them as possible, but Arsenal is making it look pretty easy, waltzing through the defense. Rettles follows up. Rettles doubles Space Station Gaming's lead, but it was all the work of Arsenal. We said that this man was the improviser. He is the one who makes it up as he goes along. He's always thinking so quickly. Maybe his plan when he went up wasn't to bump Lost out the way, but as soon as he saw Lost in his peripheral vision, didn't phase him at all. Just challenged straight into him, and Space Station Gaming is a good kickoff from them. There's more demos coming in from Arsenal, and a huge pinch from Astromic and KV1. Massive play, but Space Station, what a start.
2-0 for them as well, versus a club that was looking fantastic in that previous game. KV1 touching it low, and the demo's coming out. Lost wanting to make it a 2v3. Historically, much easier to win if that ends up happening. But 2 goals within a minute and a half. That is the most amount of goals we've had so early on in a series.
And that's despite the club pretty much starting better in this game. They had all the play, they had the pressure, they had the boost. The Space Station Gaming get that 1 goal. And suddenly it's 2, and suddenly they're looking comfortable. We've been here before. Space Station Gaming have been 2-0 up in a game before. The club brought 1 back, but not quite 2. So very much not out the woods in this game and in this series just yet.
Good pass from Rettles though, high towards Arsenal. Wanted to probably get this shot off, but just slightly misaligned for it. KV1 pre-jumping from the backboard. Arsenal bumped out of the way, removed into the side corner. Isn't able to get the touch on the ball, however, and KV1 going central again, bumping Arsenal, demoing him off the pitch. Rettles has to get anything, and that touch is great.
So we go into the corner there, in the club's corner. Lost, desperate to get this next touch. He's going for it, got the pre-flip, then got the flip reset. Daniel, he just waited and watched the entire time. Good experience defending from him now. He gets a touch into the center as well as Tromic is up. He's got Lost in front of him. Can he get it to him? No, he can't. It's almost fallen completely for Rettles. KV1 had to keep a hawk's eye on that one. Managed to do so. Now here's Astromic again. Daniel's steaming in. Rettles, does he get that boost? No, he actually leaves it for his teammate. So there will be a huge boost advantage for Space Station Gaming if only they can get control of the ball. Not quite happening there, but they're going to come forward again. It's just wave after wave of SSG pressure. This is what we want from them.
Yeah.
The ability to mix up mid-game when things are going against them and just step up to that next gear.
But that's when they play their best, when they know that they're confident, when they've got that ridiculous energy about them. An amazing save from KV1 clears it away. And again, just diving in front of that net. No boost, but KV1, a great idea to go into the corner.
Here we go.
2 minutes left. He uses that boost to wonderful effect. Retils clear it away from just underneath the crossbar. Any shot they go for has to be perfect. Lost, not quite able to use that flip reset to its highest ability. Astromech securing one. Can't quite whip himself around it to get the second shot though. Retils going for another one, but Lost passing across. Going for a little bit too much fancy play potentially. Lost, look at that, 0 boost. Still with more ambition than you can shake a stick at.
Spacestation Gaming, such a good team at playing when they're in front though. They're just frustrating the life out of the club. KV1 pushing a pass to Astromech, and again the club do break through.
A little bit of deflation on the side of Spacestation Gaming. They don't want to be letting it go, but that is mirrored. Sorry, rather the opposite of that over on the side of the club, where they were happy fist bumping, getting that pass in. The team plays. Certainly looking a little bit better than going for the solos. Still one goal they're going to need to make up if they have a chance of even getting to overtime.
Potentially the biggest 1 minute and 15 seconds in the careers of Astromech, KV1 and Lost. Can they make the most of it, or can Spacestation Gaming hold out what you would expect?
Great.
A barrage, Lost is there, the finish isn't quite, KV1 doesn't have the angle. Spacestation Gaming survive for now.
Whipping a past Central, is just unable to get the shot off into a great place, but KV1 trying to go high on that pass. 1 minute remaining. Astromech isn't able to get another one. Arsenal teaming up with Retils, as he has done for a very long time now. Can't get a goal out of it this time, however. Lost going high over the top. How does he dodge that bump?
That is why this man has so much hype behind him. Look at this. Didn't have all the boost in the world, and he used every ounce of it to get that touch over Daniel, of all defenders, right at the death. The club managed this time to get that second goal, and they have parity with 46 seconds left. That's a good kickoff though from SSG, but Astromech is back.
It's just so well worked around, you know, being able to get those opportunities, getting those chances to dodge round the side of one of the demos. And considering the start the Spacestation Gaming had in this game, the club have worked back wonderfully.
Astromech in that far corner. Arsenal's trying to close him down, but Spacestation Gaming just being beaten to the ball now. Retils is going to try and find Arsenal, who's just being nudged out of the club's goal. 20 seconds left. This is so tight.
Maybe a Game 7 coming if the club have anything to do with it. Going high, but Daniel, he already shuts off that avenue. Misses that pass over towards Arsenal. KV1 clearing out of the side. Death's door now for Retils. Sees Arsenal up. Arsenal to shoot. Does end up going high. KV1 defending that backboard. That has been their error so far.
A massive amount of pre-jumps, making it so difficult to decide where to put the pass in. Everyone's up in the sky as soon as somebody gets the touch and gets the ball. That kickoff. Oh my goodness, almost a response and a return of some nightmares from Spring there from the Spacestation kickoff.
Crumbs, that was close. First 10 seconds is action-packed with a boom to tick us into the 12th and 13th. Into the center, that ball going high with KV1 receiving. Only 40 boost, can catch up with it, but Daniel just waiting. The final touch does manage to get it past him. Arsenal on that side wall. Brilliant backboard defense from Spacestation so far.
These late nudges over the top from the club. It's not quite an air dribble, it's just a late tap, a flick over the top of the defender. It's been pretty effective. Spacestation Gaming is struggling to read them, and it's all from that touch from KV1 earlier that this attack begins. Spacestation Gaming do manage to get it away with a flick from Arsenal. A pretty boostless effort. Can't do too much with it, and Lost get the next touch. Daniel's missed it. He's missed a couple on the backboard and the both backboards in the last little one.
But does manage to, you know, whip round immediately.
No way.
Get those demo.
No way.
Daniel! You are gross, mate.
Who needs backboard play? Who needs the ball, Stumpy? Who needs to hit the ball? Just tap it towards their goal from your own goal line and demolish everybody in front of your path. Spacestation Gaming, they're improvisers, they are creators, they are creatives, and they've managed to get themselves 1-0 in this best of 7 Swiss.
I love it when you see Daniel just evolve into Laniel.
Yeah,
it's like
that was the moment.
Yeah, he just does it like, oh yeah, you know what, I can do that. Retils, Chrome and Arsenal all heading over towards the side of the club, who put up a fantastic effort. They got 2 games against Spacestation Gaming, one of the best teams in North America. Just ultimately let down by their opponents all the way back in fall, not being able to secure any of those points. Hence they are here in the wild card right now. But look, that's a great start for Spacestation, going 1-0, 2 more against terrifying teams, no doubt, and that's going to be them through into our top 16. We say goodbye to 8 of the teams, but I'm so impressed with the club. I'm so happy seeing, you know, all of these competitive players and seeing Daniel just demolish them out of the way at every opportunity that he's got.
I mean, the fact that they only lost 4-2 the club, and there were a couple of overtimes in that series as well, incredibly close. I'd say Spacestation Gaming, you know, they did look like the better team. I'm not surprised to see them win this. It's not like Spacestation Gaming were lucky to get out of that one alive by any means, but the club, you know, they're doing themselves proud, and South American teams continue to do their region proud.
Yeah, they do. Like, seeing South America compete against their North American brothers, rivals, as pretty much all brothers are, is wonderful. That was it, though, for the club versus Spacestation Gaming. After the break, we have got Europe taking to the stage. It is Carmine Corp versus O1 Esports.